Danu and the Warli tribe date back to a long time ago. Danu Taluka has 66% of Warli population. They were originally forest dwellers, hunters and gatherers, but they have gradually changed to being an agro-pastoral community. They live in small clusters of huts called padas. In the era of colonialism, the tribals were forced out of the forests. In the absence of access to the natural resources of forest produce, the dignified living of the Warli tribe has been reduced to a struggle for survival. They retain many practices of forest cultivation. Warli women carry huge baskets of dry leaves and twigs, and they set fire to it. And this method is called rab. Rab is also known as slash and burn method of subsistence agriculture. In the northeastern states, this is called Jun Cultivation. The freshly cut branches are allowed to dry and then burnt to produce ash fertilizer, and it also helps clear the forest. This work is done manually by using a curved sickle called a koita, and an axe is used for the saplings. Holes are made on the slopes to plant seeds of cucumbers or juar, which do not need a lot of water or fertile soil. The birds like the drongo make the most of this situation and catch small insects on the wing which fly out of the blaze. The local name for the drongo is kotwal, and it is a mimic artist, copying the calls of other birds. Warli children are adept at using the slingshot or a catty to hunt small birds for eating purposes. The Warlis are very good at judging wind direction as well as the lay of the land. For the Warlis, their lives revolve around the cycle of seasonality, which for them begins with the advent of the monsoon, and they wait apprehensively for the unpredictable rains. Many of the villages have access to roads, and state transport buses ply at least once a day. The arrival of the monsoon gives them hope, as now they are able to sow their paddy and wait for a good crop of rice, which is their basic food. The successful completion of sowing after tilling the fields is celebrated by the festival of Koli Bhaji. The entire family gathers around the Deva Medi, which is the main pillar of the hut, and they pray to Pausa Deva, who is the supreme rain god. A Warli farmer tills his fields with a wooden plough yoked to 2 bullocks to prepare them for transplantation of the 2 to 3 weeks old rice saplings. Most of the Warlis do not own cattle, but can hire a pair for a price of 1.5 bags of paddy. Toddy tapping is a specialized skill and has to be done carefully or the tree will die. The cut trunk has to be cleaned daily to make sure that the toddy flows smoothly. Fermented toddy is a favorite with the Warlis, as they believe that worship means a great deal of fun, enjoyment, dance, drink, and no work at all. The Tarpa dance is unique to the Warlis, and they perform this dance to the lilting tune called the Chala of the Tarpa player. This dance is performed as a celebration. Here the men and women form a chain, but it is an open-ended circle, and they clasp their hands behind their backs, and they move in a sweeping fashion. It is the Tarpa player who decides when they will change the direction by changing his tune. So he is the leader, and the dancers have to listen to him closely. The rhythmic pattern has a meaning to it. The tempo is made faster and faster till it reaches a crescendo. The open circle is symbolic for the Warlis, as they believe that death is not the end of life, but a new beginning. This cyclic nature of time is played out in all spheres of their life and can be seen in the annual cycle of work, thanksgiving, enjoyment, and work again. This is the Gaudi dance, which is performed after the harvest of the paddy crop to thank Kansari Ma, who is the deity of grain. This dance is different from the Tarpa dance, as the dancers form a circle around the Dholia or Dhol player, who plays a dholki or drum leathered on both sides. He sometimes uses one fat and one thin stick or his fingers to produce a rhythmic beat made up of the tal and the lay, which is the tempo. The dancers do not hold hands, but they do change directions intermittently. Nowadays, the Warli men mostly wear pants, and the younger girls wear petticoats and blouses instead of saris. There is a folk tale that says that Kansari Ma had cursed the Warlis, so that is why they never have surplus grain and have to till their fields every year. Marriage is the most important ceremony in the community. Their marriage traditions are unique to the Warli culture. It lasts for 4 to 5 days, and many minor rites are carried out in detail. The marriage season begins at the end of February or Megha. During the pre-wedding preparations, The lady of the house draws a pattern around the ukhal, which is a depression in the floor of the hut in which rice is pounded. It is called chauk bharne, and the rice is homegrown in their own fields. The traditional painting of the Lagna Chauk is as important as the wedding cannot take place without it. The goddess Palgata is drawn in the center, and she is the deity of fertility. The Warlis believe that with the marriage of the bride and groom, all living things are fertilized and re-energized into creativity. The two grooms circle the chauk in an anti-clockwise direction, representing the direction of the earth and the moon. And they are made to sit on small wooden stools. The rice paste is applied to their body, starting from their feet, and symbolically brushing the energy upwards for the good spirits to bless the grooms. The ladies then perform Ovalini, which is done by touching the body at 5 contact points like the ankles, the palms, the shoulders, and the head. There is singing by the Suvasins, who are the married women, in the background, who tell the grooms not to forget their parents and not to shirk their responsibilities either. The grooms are then given a symbolic purification bath with water drawn from the village well and brought in matkas or earthen pots. Rice is pounded in the ukhal, alternating the musal, which is a heavy wooden rod, and this needs a lot of skill and perfect timing. The supra, which is used for winnowing, is also used to hold the ceremonial headdress or the basing, along with rice, betel nut, betel leaves, and haldi above the groom's head during the wedding preparations the next day. A procession sets off to the nearby forest to procure branches of the sacred umba tree, which is a wild ficus species. This group includes Suvasins carrying a lamp or the Divalaya. The ladies carry bundles of offerings for the gods wrapped in white cloth. The younger sister carries the kalash or the copper pot with a coconut and mango leaves placed in it. The Warlis depend on the forest for forest produce, but will take only what they need. The women will first worship the branches by applying the red lead, followed by dhup dene, using an ambadi stalk and the local daru or alcohol.
tôi có bula. Tôi đang ngat cái
Toddy is drunk by the bhagat in a leaf cup or drone and then offered to all the family members present too. Alcohol forms a very major part in all their offerings. Once the branches are cut and worshipped, the procession heads back to the mandap, accompanied by the musicians or ture, who play the drums. More and more huts in the villages today have pakka walls made of bricks as compared to the eco-friendly walls of karvi and cow dung. Even AC sheets or tin roofs which heat up in summer are replacing thatch and roof tiles. The mandap is built to establish the mandap devta. The mandap is made up of 9 poles with a thatched covering and a garland of mango leaves. The women go around the central pole in an anti-clockwise direction, and the elderly ladies are asked to join the circle by the younger generation. This clearly shows that they still respect their elders. Unfortunately, customs are changing at a very fast pace due to urbanization and external influences. There is already a loss of traditional knowledge linked to the changing culture. The planting of the Umbar branch is very significant to the Warlis. By doing this, the Kuldev is invited to attend the wedding. The main god of the Warlis is the Wagdev or tiger god, and totem poles of stone or wood stand in the open landscape under the canopy of the sky. By living in communion with nature, they have reached heightened consciousness. Their paintings, rangoli, dance, singing, and music are a prayer of thanksgiving and celebration. Warlis live in tune with nature and respect all living creatures too. They use all natural resources very sparingly and sustainably. We have a lot to learn from them. The Warlis teach us to press the pause button and take a closer look at life. A lesson that will be treasured till the end of time.